What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So if I haven't said it already, if you haven't seen me Christmas message, I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It's the Manchester United versus Newcastle United match preview on Thursday, Boxing Day, the big old 90s clash, and why not? It's Christmas Eve. Have a Strongbow dog fruit. So I'll get this open. All good. So let's jump into it. So going into the match, we come off the back of a 1-0 win against Crystal Palace. So we are in very good spirits going into Christmas Day, Boxing Day game against Manchester United. We're currently in the top 10. We're currently joint 25 points with Manchester United. They are a place above us in 8th place. That just goes to show how far we have gone in the last sort of 6 months to where Manchester United are in the last year or so under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It just hasn't really worked out for him at Manchester United, and they're so far low down in the table. There's a lot of Man United fans who have been calling for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to go, not just this season, but part of last season as well, where results just haven't gone the way in which Man United should be, competing at the right end of the table, and that's currently, in the top 4. They're far from it, and we should go into this game against Man United at Old Trafford full of confidence. And I'd have to say, given how well we're playing, I would have to say we are favourites for the actual victory at Old Trafford, probably for the first time in the Premier League history, given where both clubs are in the league, and given that we have probably not got the best squad on paper compared to what Manchester United have. They've got big names in their squad, but they're just underperforming, whereas we've got so-called championship players and a few bits of Premier League experience in there, but overachieving, and I like that. I like to see the players, exceed expectations and, have a go, and I've been seeing that in the last sort of few months, especially against the likes of Crystal Palace. We've beaten Tottenham, and we've also beaten Manchester United, if you can see on the head-to-head record this season, 1-0 at St James's Park, which that stands us in good stead going into the game at Old Trafford, because I think we played really well against Manchester United on that day. There was a lot of pressure on us, and we'll all remember that game for Matty Longstaff, the local lad, scoring at the Gallagher late on, and what a strike it was, and absolute scenes around the ground, and especially at the Gallagher end for that lad. Scored his first ever Premier League goal against the big giants in Manchester United, and I'm sure it's a game he'll never forget. And I'd like to see Matty Longstaff kick on during this season, and you never know, he might get on the pitch against Manchester United on Thursday. That remains to be seen. But last season, they did beat were 1-0 at St James's Park, but last time out at Old Trafford, they did beat were 3-2 in a game which I can't believe we didn't get 3 points from. We're 2-0 up against Jose Mourinho's Manchester United at the time. We should go on and win that game. Unfortunately, we didn't. We collapsed in the second half, and Man United got a very late goal with Alexis Sanchez to win it 3-2. But our overall record at Old Trafford is not very good, unfortunately. Our last win came against Manchester United at Old Trafford back in 2013 when Johan Cabaye scored late on to win the game 1-0. But, to be honest with you, I don't fear Manchester United on Thursday. I feel like there's a chance there, to get all 3 points. There's not a doubt in my mind to say that we can't go there and get a positive result, because let's be honest with you, we're winning the ugly way. We might not play the best football this season, but we are certainly having a go, and we're picking up points where we should be picking up points, and we've given ourselves an outside chance of potential top 7 this season. I think 7th place is open. I'm not saying we're going to finish 7th place, but there's a chance there with how poor the quality of the Premier League is this season, I'd have to admit. But it's not to say that we can't realistically finish top 10. But then at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we finish mid-table. I think it's just important, obviously, that we stay in the Premier League. And looking at Manchester United, well, I have to say they're very inconsistent this season. I can't believe on Sunday that they lost 2-0. Yes, 2-0 against Watford at Vicarage Road last time out. And David De Gea had an absolute blunder that day, and I just can't believe what I was seeing. I mean, Watford this season have been very poor. Yes, they have been looking for their first home win of the season, and no doubt they weren't expecting it to be against Manchester United. But Man United this season, man, there's so many problems at that football club, and they've really definitely fallen from grace, since Alex Ferguson, retired and left Manchester United, and there's problems where I feel like they need to, buy in January. They need to get rid of some of the deadwood. There's too many players in there that are just playing for themselves, and they're not caring or less about the actual fans who turn up. Man United, I have to admit, as much as it pains us to say, they're a worldwide good football club. They're a big club, the biggest club in the Premier League. By far, they've won the most trophies, and you can't deny their history. And we've always had a very good rivalry with Man United in the past, and I don't expect that to change. On Thursday. But normally I'm quite nervous going into a match against Manchester United at Old Trafford, but this time I don't feel as nervous. I feel like we've got a chance of getting something. If Watford can put on a show against Man United on Sunday, why can't we? It's not to say that we can't go there and get something. We've beaten Tottenham, so that's not to say we can't beat Manchester United. They're no different. I think Man United this season, in the seasons gone by, they've got too many individuals just not performing very well. Such as Martial, Lingard, Pogba. For me, he's been the biggest disappointment at Manchester United. He re-signed for the club for big money, and he just hasn't, hit the heights at Manchester United. And I don't know what the Man United think, but for me, is it time to recash in on Paul Pogba? Because let's be honest with you, he's just not performing, at the level that's expected at Old Trafford and for the stature of Manchester United Football Club. And on his day, Pogba can become a very, very good player. He can become a world-class player overnight, but he just has too many inconsistent performances where he's not really putting a shift in for the money that he's on. I know there's been a problem with Lingard and Rashford not really scoring enough goals as well. But talking about the threats of Manchester United, I expect them to have a fully fit squad for the match on Thursday night. I think it's going to be a squad which Solskjaer is going to have to pick very, very carefully, because Steve Bruce, he'll know a bit about Manchester United. Steve Bruce used to play for the club, and he'll definitely be wanting to look for a good result at Old Trafford as well. And the way things are going, if we were to get a result at Old Trafford, we can look to be getting into that top six, in the Premier League. And it's not to say that they're not going to give us a game. I expect Man United to have a lot more of the ball, but it's how we control it. It's how we stop them. And the threats, I would have to say, is going to be Rashford. You've obviously got Pogba, you've got Lingard, you've got James, the new signing from Swansea, who's I think has been a breath of fresh air. A young lad who's got real talent. Someone who can get up and down the pitch, from the centre of midfield. But if they are looking, to strengthen Man United, I think they're going to have to look to strengthen in the January for the striking positions, because you just can't see where Man United are going to get the goals from this season, to get back into that top four, because at this moment in time they're not good enough for top four, and I'll tell you that right now. They're so far short, and well, who knows what will happen between now and January, but Man United know that they have to sort it out. The pressure will be on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, no question. There'll always be a full house at Manchester United, and it's our big game. It's always a big game between Manchester United, Newcastle, Manchester United, both fixtures at St James's Park and Old Trafford. I feel like on Thursday we've got nothing to lose apart from pride, really, but I don't really want it to come down to that. I want us to go to Old Trafford and think that we can get all 3 points. If not, a draw wouldn't be the worst result in the world. If we were to win, we can go as high as 6th or 7th. If we draw, we'll probably go about 8th, which is not too bad, providing that results go our way. But we're looking good so far this season. We really have turned things around, and that's what you want to see. From a club of our size, we want to be climbing up the league, not looking down the league. And I'm very, very confident that Steve Bruce will pick the right side against Manchester United. Players to watch out for, Man United fans, if you are watching, I'd definitely say Shelvey, Hayden. Also, Almiron has got his first goal of the season as well, so he'll be on a high after that game against Crystal Palace, and someone who's got a lot of pace who can get up and down the pitch as well. Andy Carroll, I know he hasn't been scoring lately, but his assistant's been fantastic, and if you're not careful, he will out-jump you, and if he out-jumps you, 9 times out of 10 the ball is in the back of the net, so you have to be definitely careful there. Good enough news for you that St Maximin will still be injured for this game, so you don't have to deal with him on Thursday night, but I think he will cause you a nightmare if he was to be playing. But I think it is what it is, really. and the squad that Steve Bruce will pick will most likely be the one that played against Crystal Palace that got the result. But at the same time, I don't really want to see Joe Linton in the squad, but I expect him to start against Uslar on Saturday. But I think it's going to be a game of patience for both clubs, especially for Man United, because the expectation will be on Uslar because you're at home. But that's not to say that we can't give you a game on Thursday. And I think, let's be honest with you, you should fear us on Thursday because we will not back down. We will be giving you a game for the full 90 minutes. And I think you'll want to be getting revenge as well after what happened at St James's Park later on in that game as well. But that's not to say we didn't deserve to win that game because we did. But at the same time, I'd happily take a point at Old Trafford as well, because for me it's all about building, to try and climb the table and keeping away from that relegation zone. So if you are asking for a score prediction from yourself, I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw, a ball 0-0 draw. As long as we go down there and we keep it tight, I'll take it. Can I see we're scoring a goal? No, not really. But if we can, and we can keep a hold of the lead, I'll be happy with that. But I think a point wouldn't be the worst result in the world. It's Old Trafford, one of the so-called top 6 clubs. Not as at the moment, but Old Trafford is a tough place to go. And if you can come away from Manchester with points, that's always a good thing. So for me, 0-0. Let us know, guys, down below in the comments what you think the score is going to be on Thursday for the game against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Man United fans, let us know down below in the comments. Also, if you are going to the game, let us know what team do you think Steve Bruce will pick on Thursday. Do you think it'll be the same side that played against Crystal Palace, or do you think it'll be a mix-up side, given that it is Christmas? The fixtures are coming thick and fast. We do have a game on the weekend as well, followed by an FA Cup game, but I'll talk about them, when we get towards the that weekend. But really looking forward to it. It's going to be a huge game, at Old Trafford. I love the big games. I love when they give good Boxing Day games. It's going to be a good old 90s rivalry when Newcastle and Man United used to battle each other, for first and second, but not anymore. But we can relive that on Thursday. So let the battle commence. If you are new to the channel, please go along and subscribe. I am on the verge of 2,500 subs. We're only 50 away now. So if you can go along and subscribe to me, that would massively be appreciated. And thank you so much for all your support this year as well. For any football fan who's been watching, and it's always massively appreciated. All your comments are valued as well. And if you do enjoy the video, please hit the thumbs up if you've made it this far. And follow me on social media, 100% NUFC on Instagram and Twitter. And I'll see you all in the next one. Enjoy your Christmas. How are the lads?